Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Bitcoin could potentially run all the way to $10,000 during this rally that we've seen here over the last couple of weeks. Because as you guys know, about a week ago, Bitcoin broke through with a lot of exuberance, $6,000. We didn't even test it for very long. Bitcoin broke straight through it. After that, Bitcoin broke straight through $7,000 and even ran all the way up through $8,000, putting in a recent high and a yearly high of around $8,350 or so. And guys, even though there are signs that Bitcoin may be slowing down from here, I'm not totally convinced this move is over. I think we're going to need a big correction coming in the next week or two, but I still think that there might be a chance that we could continue running, because if you guys look at how this market looks, it bears striking resemblance to the 2017 bull market, and it doesn't bear striking resemblance to the 2017 bull market at the top. It bears striking resemblance to the 2017 bull market a little ways from the top. We're going to be looking at that in today's video, and we're going to be discussing all of the different technical indicators that go into our predictions about what Bitcoin is going to do here, and we're going to be coming to the conclusion as to whether or not Bitcoin can actually run to $10,000 during this rally. We're going to be discussing all of that and more in today's video, guys, so if you enjoyed today's video, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing that notification bell, guys. We do cryptocurrency videos every single day, and I wouldn't want you to miss any of them. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Except actually one more thing, I did forget to mention that we are still running the sale on the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. That's been running for 2 days now. We've had nearly 24 of you guys join. We'll be discussing that more later on at the end of the video. If you're looking to learn how to do technical analysis during such bullish times as these, use the coupon code in the description down below and join for 20% off. Anyway, guys, now actually without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. Bitcoin is trading just below just below $8,000 here, right around $7,950. If we go ahead in here to the hourly chart, we're going to see something interesting in Bitcoin, and that is that we had one initial rally and a pullback, and then we went to a consolidation pattern, had a massive breakout. And here over these last couple of days, Bitcoin's been trading rather sideways, actually. If we go ahead and look, you could actually say almost that Bitcoin's in a consolidation pattern right here, maybe even some kind of a pennant where we're setting lower lows, or we're setting higher lows and lower highs. Bitcoin's squeezing in on itself, we're constraining in on ourselves. And a lot of times in bullish rallies like this is a very, very important part, because eventually Bitcoin's either going to break bullish, Bitcoin's either going to break bullish or it's going to break bearish. It's going to break bearish, and Bitcoin is going to see another one of these massive runs, because as you guys know, when we're looking at runs like this where Bitcoin is just going to town, whether that be to the upside or to the downside, there's a lot of tension in the market. And since Bitcoin is able to move quite a lot, there's a lot of bullish tension in the market right now. So the fact that Bitcoin's being squeezed in here doesn't mean that tension has left the market. It means it's being constrained. The analogy that I often use is when you're holding a spring together, all that energy didn't just go away. When you let your hands go, the spring is going to expand. And that's basically what we're looking at here. The market is the spring. This level of resistance is your right hand, and this level of resistance is your left hand. And when Bitcoin eventually breaks through one of your hands, which would be rather morbid, Bitcoin is going to start moving again, and it's going to release all of that tension, and it's going to start breaking either bullish or bearish in a very major way. Obviously, I think we can all agree that Bitcoin has a lot of tension right now, and I think we're going to see a breakout here in these next couple of days to determine which direction that tension is going to lead us. But one of the main things I want to discuss in today's video, we're going to be discussing a lot of different technical indicators later on and what they mean for Bitcoin in the short and near-term future. But I also want to talk about just the way this market looks. Get a good image of what this market looks like. If you have to back up in about 30 seconds, go right ahead and do so. But Bitcoin's basically rallied, downtrend, moved into a couple of consolidation patterns, uptrend, consolidation pattern, traded sideways, something like that. It's not just been a straight rally where we had a correction from there. It's not a mountain peak. It's just kind of like a mountain range, if you will. Bitcoin has rallied in that manner. And if we go back into time here, we're going on the 4-hourly chart. I want to show you what Bitcoin looked like in 2017, because I was in the market and I was actively trading the market and doing cryptocurrency videos in the market back during this time. And I remembered what this looked like, and I wanted to go back and look at it. And lo and behold, where Bitcoin is right now looks strikingly similar to this part of the market right here. And note that this part of the market was right around $12,000. Bitcoin ran all the way to $20,000. That was not the top of the market. This was the top of the market. Even if we're being a little more conservative on our predictions, then we could say that instead of Bitcoin being right here, Bitcoin is instead up here. Maybe we could say Bitcoin is trading around up here for example. But what we're basically seeing is kind of an ascending, a upwards facing pennant where Bitcoin's kind of squeezing in on itself and moving to the upside. That's somewhat what we're seeing right here. Bitcoin does have an uptrend right here. It's not really a pin, it's more of a trading channel. But the fact that Bitcoin is having these rallies and downtrends, but almost as if it's angled at a 45-degree angle, is pretty much what we saw in 2017 when Bitcoin was ridiculously bullish. And that makes sense, guys, because when you see a market be extremely bullish or extremely bearish, they tend to act pretty similar. And I think that Bitcoin is looking very similar to this market right here, where we had this kind of little hiccup right here, and then we rallied again, had another little hiccup. And then, guys, you know what happened next? We had another gigantic rally. Bitcoin was in a consolidation pattern right here. I remember doing TA on that specific pattern. It only really shows up on the hourly chart, and zooming all the way back here on the hourly chart would be a pain. But needless to say, there is a consolidation pattern right there. And Bitcoin broke ridiculously bullish out of that. I remember this day, actually, when this broke bullish. I remember talking to friends, and I started saying, instead of Bitcoin's trading at $7,900, I'd say 11.2, for example, because it sounded cooler. But that's pretty much what we're looking at, is that Bitcoin looks very similar to what that market did back then. And at that time, Bitcoin was not done with its rally. And I think there's a pretty good chance that Bitcoin's not done here either. All the technicals are telling me that we should see some kind of cool off in the next couple of days, maybe in the next week or so. We'll be talking about those technicals and what they say here in just a second. But based on the way the market's been moving, and based on how exuberant everyone is, I'm not going to predict that Bitcoin's going to $10,000, because that would be irresponsible of me. But I will tell you that there is still room for Bitcoin to go all the way up here. And we'll talk about why I say $10,000 later. I didn't just pull that number out of a hat. But I think there is a decent chance that something like that could happen. Now, like I said, you want to be careful. I would be very careful buying into this market right now. I know I'm talking about Bitcoin going to $10,000, but just because there's a decent chance that Bitcoin could go to $10,000 doesn't mean that it will. So please don't go FOMOing into the market and buying a ton of Bitcoin, because you can get burned very, very easily during times like these, because you're getting emotional. I know that I haven't put in any more money other than my dollar cost averaging in these last couple of weeks, because I don't want to FOMO into an investment that could potentially come back to bite me. If you do want to do that, then use something like a trailing stop, and then when Bitcoin starts its correction, then you'll be safe and you can take your profits automatically without you having to be at your computer. But anyway, you have to be very careful in times like these, so be careful about this. Bitcoin could very easily fall over. With all that said, let's go ahead and talk about some technicals. We're going to go ahead out to the weekly chart, because one of the most important technicals that I want to bring up has to do with the weekly MACD. As you guys can see, the weekly MACD is ridiculously bullish. I mean, it's been a very long time since we've been this bullish on the MACD, and the last time was indeed at the end of the 2017 bull market. It's a little strange that Bitcoin is starting this current bull market even more bullish than Bitcoin was back during the end of the 2017 bull market. Perhaps that's a really good sign. Perhaps that's a really bad sign. I assume time will tell. But the MACD is something that we definitely want to keep an eye out for. As you guys can see, Bitcoin's MACD has been closing in on itself for the last 5 or 6 months here, and it's been getting more and more and more bullish consistently. We haven't had a bearish candlestick except for this one right here, where the MACD closed in on itself at all, except for this one on the 22nd of April. The MACD has been continuing to get bullish. And the interesting thing I want to talk about is where Bitcoin's MACD is in relation to the zero level of the histogram right here. If we go ahead and look back into time here, what we're going to find is back over here, when Bitcoin was rallying above $300 and going on its parabolic run at the beginning of the last bull market, Bitcoin was just getting its MACD above the zero level when it topped out. And in fact, if we go ahead and pull this down and get a good look at this MACD, and we can bring this up here for a second, get out across, then what we'll see is that when Bitcoin topped out here, was about where we are now, but about a week later. As you guys can see, this bottom line, the signal line, was below the MACD line and was still trying to get above that zero level when Bitcoin topped out. That's about where we are now. Bitcoin still does have a little bit more room to run before that MACD line, before that signal line, excuse me, is up here right below the zero level. So if we were to follow that chart verbatim, then that would give us about another week of bullishness. But something like that is kind of nuanced. It is kind of pedantic, if you will, and there's a very good chance that it's not going to play out exactly like that, but I did want to bring it up. The MACD is ridiculously bullish, guys. We haven't seen the MACD this bullish in a very long time, and I think we're playing out even more bullish than the way we did at the beginning of 2017, or the beginning of the 2017 bull market, so it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if Bitcoin did some things that it didn't do in 2015 and stayed even more bullish. For example, if we had followed 2015 exactly, we would have had a pullback before $6,000 and then a breakout. So we have to learn from our mistakes in the past and realize that Bitcoin is even more bullish at the start of this bull market than it was during the last one. We have to use that in our technical analysis. That's a very important piece of information for us to keep in mind. From here, guys, I want to go ahead and discuss the RSI out on the weekly chart as well, because the RSI is a very, very important technical indicator that we need to keep an eye on. We're going to be looking at on a couple of different intervals. Bitcoin's RSI is, of course, above the 58 to 60 level, meaning that we have entered a bull market. But as we can see back over here, Bitcoin ran its RSI only to about 72 before this rally topped out. And part of the reason you might say that happened was because of this gigantic wick. If the week had have started 2 or 3 days earlier, then perhaps Bitcoin's RSI would have gone significantly higher, but alas, it didn't. If we look at where Bitcoin is right now, then we'll find that Bitcoin's RSI has already blown that record out of the water. Bitcoin's RSI is sitting at 78. And one of the interesting things that happens when you come down to the daily chart has to do with Bitcoin's RSI as well. If you guys will look back to the end of 2017's bull market, a era in the market that we've been drawing a lot of parallels with recently, we saw one high, we saw two highs that were the same height, and then at the end of the 2017 bull market, we finally saw Bitcoin broke those highs and ran all the way up to the ridiculous RSI level of 93. That is absurd for the daily chart. And the interesting thing that I want to point out here is that Bitcoin has two highs on the RSI right now, both of which have about the same degree. They've both gone to a similar level. But back over here in 2017, at the end of the bull market, because there was all of that exuberance, Bitcoin's RSI actually broke that kind of neckline, if you will, of the RSI and broke through it. If that were to happen, then that would mean that Bitcoin's RSI does need to continue up again, maybe up to around 90 or so, to continue that pattern that we saw in 2017. And that would mean that Bitcoin would have to rally even more. And guys, things like the daily MACD are still very bullish, of course. I'm sure you could have predicted that. There are some bullish technical indicators. There are some bearish technical indicators. The point I want to make here, guys, is that Bitcoin can go up or down. I think the Bitcoin technical indicators are saying that we could go up, and they are saying that we could go down. And that's not just because I'm misreading them, guys. Technical analysis does sometimes put you in a spot where half of the TA is going to say one thing, and half of the TA is going to say another thing. That is a part of technical analysis. It's one of the limitations of technical analysis, but if you know what you're doing, you can use that as a benefit in your technical analysis. It's important that you understand how to trade the market and how to interact with the market when things like that are happening. So now, to wrap the video up, where did $10,000 come from? Why do I say 10K? Well, guys, one of the reasons I say 10K is because 10K sounds nice. Why did I say that? Why did I say that it sounds nice? This is why I said it sounds nice. There's such a thing as psychological levels in cryptocurrency technical analysis. If you come into the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, if you've already joined the course, come down here and watch the video on mass psychology. In that video, I go over levels of support and resistance and why they always seem to line up with a $1,000 increment level. $8,000, $10,000, $17,000, $20,000, $5,000, $3,000, $3,000, $8,000. Why does that always seem to happen? The reason that always seems to happen is because people are drawn towards those levels. And the cryptocurrency markets are largely traded by humans, and humans prefer the number 10,000 to $7,988.24. They prefer that kind of number because that's where they like to put their trades. So the reason I say 10,000 is because everybody else is going to say 10,000. And that's a very important part of technical analysis, is staying on board with what the majority of the traders think, because those are the people moving the market. And you have to understand what they think. If you could poll every single cryptocurrency investor and trader, and you could understand how much money they were willing to invest and what all their trades were going to be, you could predict the market with 100% accuracy. Now, of course, that's an ideal world scenario. It's not possible, but that's what we're talking about here, because the markets are merely manifestations of the machinations of the traders in those markets. That's something I've said a couple times, and I think that really gets to the point. So for $10,000, here's one of the other reasons I think $10,000 is going to be a major level. We've just come up and tested $8,400. That is where we saw Bitcoin rally to in this rally back over here. If Bitcoin does go bullish and it doesn't break bearish here, that means it's going to break $8,400. Let me say that again. If Bitcoin does go bullish here and continues this rally, this level of resistance is going to be broken. Or Bitcoin is going to fall over and this rally is going to end and we're going to see some pullbacks. We'll discuss that in tomorrow's video unless something else comes up. We'll discuss what happens if Bitcoin pulls back and what that will look like in a coming video. Hit the subscribe button for that. But if Bitcoin does go bullish, it's going to break through $8,400 with relative ease. And if it does, there's not a whole lot of resistance in between that and 10K. It's going to rally straight to 10K if it breaks through $8,400, at least in my opinion. One of the other reasons why I bring up 10K has to do with Fibonacci retracement. If we come here and look at some Fibonacci retracement levels, we will find that the 38.2% fib level is up around $9,500. And while that isn't exactly to $10,000, when I give you a level of resistance, it's going to be plus or minus 5% or so, because these markets do move a little bit strange sometimes. It's very possible that Bitcoin goes to $9,500 or $10,500. Some people have even said it's going to go to $12,000. I don't think that's ready. I don't think we're ready for that yet, but who knows? Maybe that will happen. So guys, I think if Bitcoin does break bullish out here, it's going to rally somewhere to $10,000. I want to be very careful with calling tops here. I'm not necessarily saying that that's going to be the end of the rally, and I'm not even necessarily saying that Bitcoin's going to do that. All I'm really saying here is that if Bitcoin does go bullish, it's probably going to be drawn like a magnet to $10,000, like a moth to a flame to $10,000, and that's where we'll try to go to. Whether or not we get there, guys, it's very hard for me to predict that simply because of the limitations of technical analysis when extreme exuberance has overcome this market. But guys, just because extreme exuberance has overcome this market does not mean that technical analysis is useless. In fact, technical analysis is just as important as ever, because even though people are ridiculously exuberant right now, they're still going to largely follow the rules of technical analysis whether they want to or not, because technical analysis is designed to take their actions into account. Technical analysis is still an extremely part of cryptocurrency. It's an extremely important part of your trading and your investing. And guys, that is why I made the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy about 6 or 7 months ago, because I knew that a Bitcoin bull market was coming. I knew that one was going to happen in the year of 2019. I really didn't have a doubt in my mind that that was going to happen. You can look back on a plethora of videos, like over a dozen videos I uploaded to the channel talking about a bull market in 2019. I've been predicting this for a long time, and the reason I made the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy back then was so that I could continue refining it, I could continue having people go through the course, giving me feedback so that I could improve the course all the way along until the bull market started, and we started seeing newer people come into the market who needed to learn about technical analysis. And now that has started, if you're newer to the cryptocurrency space and you just heard about Bitcoin again, and you're stepping into the market over these last couple of days, I'm sure there are some of you, even though this is very much a new market. Tell us in the comment section down below. If you're new to the market, you've been here for the last 3 months or so, tell us what's going on. Tell us what's going through your head. We're interested to hear as always, and we love to have you. But guys, here's what we have to do with the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy. In this course, I teach you pretty much everything you need to know about technical analysis, all the way up through a late intermediate level. We get into some more advanced concepts, but this course is largely geared towards people who are just getting into the crypto space and people who have been in the crypto space for a year or so and want to advance their knowledge even more. If you guys don't know several of the different lessons that are taught in this course, it's worth the money. I'll be straight up with you. There's 33 videos, over 9 hours of content. I could very easily sell, and I've been advised to sell this course for a lot more. And by a lot more, I'm talking like over $500 for this course. I've been advised to do that by people who know a very large amount about marketing. This course is definitely worth every single penny. It's $119.20 after the 20% coupon code. If you learn one thing in this course that makes you more than $120, which is not a lot of money when you're trading cryptocurrency, you've made back that money. Let me ask you a question. Is it a better idea to invest $120 into Bitcoin right now when we have no idea where the top is actually going to be? We don't really know if it's going to top out now or if it's going to go to $10,000. Is it a better idea to invest in Bitcoin right now and not really know what Bitcoin's going to do, and even with good technical analysis have a hard time of predicting where Bitcoin's going to go? Or invest in nearly 10 hours of content where you'll learn everything about the basics about technical analysis. You'll learn about nearly a dozen different technical indicators, how they all work, how they interact with each other, all kinds of theory crafting for cryptocurrency, risk and reward, that's a very important theory, how bull and bear markets work. This might be an appealing video for the current market. Market structure, that's something we've been talking about quite a lot in this video and recent ones. Dollar cost averaging, I talked about that in yesterday's video. You guys all seem to love that. Trading and investing, another important concept. Short versus long-term technical analysis. People never talk about that. That's a hugely important one. Golden crosses and death crosses. We saw a golden cross not too long ago that predicted the beginning of the Bitcoin bull market right here. And if you had have watched that video in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, and you had have been watching the videos over here on YouTube, you could have predicted along with me that a bull market was starting. Every single one of these videos has content that is worth that money that you have to pay to get this content if you are actually serious about trading cryptocurrency. I believe that with every fiber of my being. I'm not saying that as a sales pitch. I'm saying it because it's true. I want you guys to learn how to do cryptocurrency technical analysis so that you can make the most money that you can in this bull market, guys. One of the biggest opportunities of our lives is standing right before us. A Bitcoin bull market, the likes of which we've only really seen once, and the likes of which we may never see again. Bitcoin has rallied 150% in the last 3 months. If you want to tell me you can get better gains literally just about anywhere else, you go right ahead and do that. I'll be listening in the comment section down below, but I don't think you're going to find it. Even if you're trading penny stocks in the stock market, you're going to have a hard time finding that. Bitcoin is going to the moon. It's going to get a pit stop at the moon, then it's going to the stars. And if you guys know how to trade these markets, you can make an absolute fortune. I'm not guaranteeing that. If you make money, that's because you deserve to make that money. But the only way you're going to make money is if you know what you're doing, and that's what CT2A is for. If you guys are interested in learning about how to do technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency cryptocurrency markets, check the link in the description down below. Use the coupon code 20K2019 at checkout. You'll get 20% off the course price. And you'll get access to all current 33 videos and the 17 new videos that will be coming out over the next couple of months. I want to get the course all the way up to 50 videos. I have a lot more videos planned, more coming out later this month. If you buy into the course, you will get every single one of those videos for free, no extra charge. People have asked me that before. You will get every single current video and every single future addition to the course. One flat price. That's all there is to say. One more thing I will say, though, by the way, is that we do have a complete money-back refund guarantee. We've had over 300 people. I believe the number's around 327 people go through the course right now. Not one of them has ever had a refund. Not one of them has ever wanted a refund, so I've never given one of them a refund. All I have to do is click refund. You will get your money back. Literally shoot me an email, say a couple words, say, Jeb, I want refund. Boom, you got a refund. Not that bad. I know what your email is. I can go into Stripe, hit that button, you get your money back. It's really not that hard. I guarantee that on the FAQ and in the refund policy. All you got to do is join the course. See if you like it. If you don't like it, shoot me an email. Let me know if you're in accordance with the refund policy terms, which is the first 14 days of purchase, and you've watched less than 30% of the course material, because I figure within that time you will know whether or not you want the course. I don't want you watching literally the entire course and then trying to get your money back. That wouldn't be fair to me. Shoot me an email. I'll give you all your money back. No questions asked. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Tell me in the comments section down below what you think of this rally, and where do you think it's headed? Do you think Bitcoin will actually go all the way up to $10,000? Do you think Bitcoin's going to go above $10,000? I'll tell you what I think. I think there's a pretty good chance that we have a pullback from $8,400, and we'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. But at the same time, there's a lot of things, including the exuberance of Bitcoin's bulls right now, pointing to a potential $10,000. So guys, my official position on this is not a prediction that we're going to $10,000, so please don't misquote me. People do that all the time, and it's very annoying. My prediction is not that we're going to $10,000. The purpose of this video was to lay out how it could happen and why it might happen. Anyway, guys, that is going to wrap it up. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.